Stuart Barraclough, right-sided player, more what you would call an orthodox winger. Jinky Smith, really tricky player, and up front, some really good strikers. Malcolm MacDonald, good on the floor, good in the air, very fast. John Tudor, good player, good touch, and on the left-hand side for balance, Terry Hibbert.
And Frank, a very strong Leeds side, yes?
Well, yeah, I mean, you look at the names there, I would think that other than Mick Bates, every one of them was an international player. I mean, that was a wonderful team. Johnny Giles, great footballer, one of the hardest inside forwards in the game as well, that people sometimes forget about. Peter Lorimer, I always tried to make sure I was out of the line of fire when Peter was shooting. If I couldn't get an early tackle in, I used to try and get past him. Jackie, of course, and Norman Hunter at the back. I tried not to get too close to them as well.
Yeah, I can understand.
And yeah, just a wonderful team, full of very, very good players.
So 1972, a year I particularly remember for the dreadful happenings at the Munich Olympics, and also one of the marvellous things to occur there, Mary Peters winning her gold medal. Let's away to St James's Park and join the commentator Barry Davis.
And assisting Mr. Wynne on the line, Brian Ullman of Bedale and Arnold Challoner of Rotherham. This is well to get that right. You never know who's going to turn up on the line these days. Newcastle United in the striped shirts, Leeds all in white. The skipper gets the first touch. He's been told by his manager to put some drive back into the Newcastle side. Clark to Tudor. Two is David Craig. McDonald's. Oh, and a great start. Jimmy Smith, the scorer.
An explosive start then, Frank.
Yeah, tremendous strike by Jim Smith, but the thing that really strikes me is that it's the first time I've seen Malcolm MacDonald pass a ball when he's been within 40 yards of the goal. Most unusual, that. Most unusual. But a great strike by Jim.
Across the goalkeeper.
Across the goalkeeper, yeah.
No chance.
Keep it pirated John Tudor who scored it.
There are still people outside trying to get into the ground, and they missed the opening goal. Scored for the home side, Newcastle United. David Young. Tremendous buzz still going round the ground. A three-sided ground these days, of course. On the far side of the ground, there's what looks like a building site. They're putting up a new stand there, but problems with the builders has delayed it. Clark, that's aim! Oh, a fine goal too! A goal by both number 8s, Alan Clark.
Well, a quick opening goal and a quick reply. Bobby.
Yeah, it's exciting for the fans, you know.
Oh, absolutely.
We've got a match on the hands now. It's really great. But this is a great strike by Alan Clark. Mick Jones sees him, and he just hits it the outside of his foot and just bends it slightly. Bends it slightly. McFall just gets a little finger to it, but not enough. That was a great strike.
We've had 2 goals inside 2 minutes. Which, as they say, can't be bad. And the referee's just fallen over as well, so it's all happening here at St James's Park. McDonald's. He didn't hesitate about hitting it. David Harvey, the Leeds United goalkeeper, recovered from influenza, although Gary Sprake is watching the match up in the stand to our left. Bit of pushing going on, Howard and Jones. Leeds have got the free kick. Peter Lorimer poised. I don't know whether he can have a crack from there. 6 Leeds players forward, and the wall being pushed back a little bit. Lorimer. Not a bad effort. It's been a good 35 yards range. Newcastle goalkeeper Ian McFall. Linesman waving for a foul by Jack Charlton, the referee waving play on. Lorimer, good header by Howard.
Come on, Loma, come on!
Bates. Pushing by Howard. Trevor Cherry took his eye off it and didn't get it right. Here's Barraclough taking on Norman Hunter.
Well, this is an electric start, isn't it? I mean, 3 goals in 7 minutes.
Yeah, incredible. But I mean, that goal comes from an incredible challenge by Jim Smith. I mean, Jim was a very, very skillful inside forward, but he could certainly tackle when he had to, and he got a great challenge in there. And the ball broke loose, and great cross in, and John Tudor's good striking habits goes to the near post, and it's in the net.
Giles' shot. Craig. Howard. Cherry, whose mistake started that Newcastle goal. And Tudor came back then with Reaney. It'd be interesting to know who was supposed to pick up Tudor, because he looked pretty well unmarked as he headed in. Here it comes, and Jones has scored! Mixed up between Young and McFall, and Mick Jones scored.
Does that come back to mind, Frank?
I remember that one very well, yes. I mean, that was before the days of the forbidden back pass as well. It should have been nice and simple back into Willie McFall's hands, and the danger was over. I don't know what David was trying to do there.
No.
And to be fair, Willie shouldn't have been that far out either, but it was a total disaster.
Yeah. We used to score a lot of own goals in the past, you know, when we used to say whenever you pass the ball back, always make sure that you knock it outside the posts. And the number of times that used to mean that you used to pass it by the goalkeeper when they knocked it back. And they used to give really silly mistakes. And really the basic thing is if you're a defender, you get it out, you know, for a corner kick or a throw-in or whatever.
Clark. Hunter.
Come on now, John!
McDonald. Cherry.
Come on, John!
Jones and Howard. Bates moving into the middle, he's going to make it! Good piece of recovery by David Young. Gets the congratulatory pat. That's making up for his error of a moment ago. Some of the marking is really a bit slack. Corner to Leeds. Here's Bates, nicely curled, Jack Charlton is up there, Peter Lorimer. Alan Clark, it's meant to be a back pass. Came off the side of his boot. But the whistle has gone and the play is going to be ball back to the other end for a free kick. Goal kick. Jack Charlton, almost at home, comes across from Ashington, just a few miles away from St James's Park. Barraclough as it comes down. Free kick against Cherry. Cherry having problems settling into this left-back position. And booked, presumably for deliberately holding his man off after that man, Barraclough, had beaten him. Donald on the edge of the 6-yard box. Hibbert shot of sorts. And the same remark could apply to David Craig. Howard timing isn't getting there, rather better than Jones that time. Bates really couldn't have expected Reedy to be as far forward as that.
Come on,
Jack Charlton. Went out, but Trevor Cherry once again caught in no man's land. Building has been like that for an awful long time there, or rather a lack of building. There's been a number of problems in the building industry. Foreigner holding off one tackle, turning twice very well. Jones is offside. It's a free kick.
Well, there's no doubt about that, was there? I mean, he was clearly offside, Mick.
Just about every
Yeah.
Yeah, he looked offside. He didn't seem to argue very much, though. Yeah, I think so.
No, but hang on.
And Clark gets the lecture.
Frank?
Accident.
Frank,
Yeah,
that was...
accident, that one.
Eh?
I wouldn't.
What
I'd
happened,
never
Frank?
let Peter Lorimer. Look, he's going to get up in a minute.
You never do that to Peter Lorimer, he might get up.
And the book this time has come out.
That didn't happen to you frequently, though, Frank. You didn't have
No,
your
no,
name
I was only
taken very
booked
often,
about
did you?
twice, I think, in my whole career. But it was more difficult to get booked in those days. I mean, nowadays it's very difficult to
not get
to
booked.
get through a season as a defender and not get 5 or 6 bookings.
Yeah.
But Mr. Wynn had got himself into a position when he just couldn't let that one go by without a booking. Jack Charlton has looked very commanding. Just got a glimpse then of Alan Clark, who's lying on the ground in the centre circle, or just wide of it. Let's have a look at that. Seems to be the ankle injured in the first lot. That's Joe Jordan, the substitute. 6 minutes of the half remaining. I must say Leeds, if they could wait, would obviously like to. John Reevy, Leeds United manager, and Joe Jordan is obviously coming on. Jordan coming on one side of the field, Clark going off on the other. And Clark, the other side, is protesting furiously. But he's been replaced now, and there's nothing Leeds can do about it. And I can only say that Leeds really brought that on themselves by taking a player off one side and bringing one on the other. Of course, it's the manager's decision, and Mr. Reevy was on the touchline. Now he's here with Jones, Hibbert, Tudor, Gibb, rescued a square of him. So is Smith. McDonald out to the right. Jerry who covered it. McDonald went forward a little bit too far then. Smith. Them from Bremner, and away goes McDonald. Pretty wild challenge by Jerry, which may have put him off. Here's Gibb. Good punch by David Harvey. The final act and a half in which there's always been something happening.
Well, a brilliant first half, 4 goals, 2 each, and what a great match to be watching if you're at St James's Park and even if you're here.
Tremendous game, yeah. Few naughty tackles going in. There usually were when we played Leeds, to be fair.
Yeah.
It was a good start, though, and a great atmosphere.
Yeah.
I think when Newcastle allow kids to sit on the track
Oh, I think that's wonderful.
I mean, it's almost right. They're almost on the field, and it just creates a great atmosphere. And you get a couple of goals early on, and it sort of made the game, hasn't it? You know, it's open, and people are taking chances, and it's just excellent. Really exciting. Leeds playing well and scoring really, which was a silly goal. But nevertheless, it's really good. I can sense the atmosphere actually sitting here.
Yes, I'm sure you can.
At that time in Newcastle.
They're bringing their ground development at that point, Frank, too, aren't they? I mean, that big stand.
Yeah, I can remember them setting about building the stand over on the popular side. It was it spoiled the atmosphere a little bit, although it made it a lot better for me because I used to get a lot of stick from our supporters on the popular side. While that building site was going on, it was the best reception I had in the whole of my career.
Leeds United now defending the goal to our
Reception I had in the whole of my career.
Leeds United now defending the goal to our right in the all-white strip. I think it's probably asking too much to get a start to this half of the same sort as we had to the first. Jack Charlton. Young. Craig. Sherry, usually a middle of the back 4 player when he played for Huddersfield. Occasionally midfield, never seen him at left back until came to Leeds. Lorimer. Strange header by Craig, but quite safe. Charlton, time to shout, leave it. Played by Smith, Barraclough. Charlton who blocked it. Bremner underneath it again. Smith. An interesting pass by Smith. Didn't come off. Hibbett. A free kick given against Gibb. Howard had made up his mind to come for it and then was rather put off by Craig's presence. Cherry. Length again. Gibb, 2 in the middle, across it to his tuner. Norman Hunter acknowledging his mistake. He was trying to push that round his man. Just gave it away to Gibb. Craig for Newcastle. Smith. Tuner. To resist the challenge. Gibb. Lovely dummy. Fine goal. Really a very good goal.
an important goal, Frank. I mean, locked it 2-2 for quite a long time.
Yeah, I mean, terrific play, you know, a good build-up, run down the line by Tommy Gibb and a good cross. Stuart Barraclough knows he's not really going to score from his position, but the dummy puts all the defenders off. And Malcolm doesn't miss too many from that distance, smacks it into the corner. You know, it's a real quality goal.
Something special about the players that wore the number 9 shirt for Newcastle, Bobby?
Yes, I mean, they love the goal scorers up there. I mean, there was Jackie Milburn, there was George Robledo, Malcolm MacDonald, Kevin Keegan. Yeah, they love the strikers. But Malcolm MacDonald, you know, he was a left-sided player, really, you know, so he'd be more pleased than usual with that one. But he was a great striker. And one thing you notice about it, when he loved celebrating, you know. And I always think the fans love to see somebody celebrating a goal, you know. And when the referees say, you know, get on with the game and stop patting each other on the back.
And of course,
I think that's one of the things that the fans go for, hoping that they'll get a goal so that they can see what's happening. But he was always a great celebrator.
And he was a Londoner on side too, you see.
That's right, yeah. Dennis Law was another one, you know.
Yeah.
Always celebrated well, and the fans
arm went
loved
up,
it.
yeah.
Always acknowledged the fans, you know, like it was given some that was down to them. Yeah, made them big favourites.
Sherry, here for handball then against Giles. Gibb. Fine cross, Jack Charlton has come across. Well played, Hunter. Goal kick. Hunter recovered well with good speed. It is significant that a lot of the Newcastle attacks come down this right flank. The near side as we look. Close-up view of it. The Challoner looking down on the line. Howard. Good to see, even though it didn't produce anything. Trying to hit that as it came down, and he's gone down. Bremner in the walls again. Free kick to Leeds and a chance for McDonald.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. He looks very badly hurt there, Frank, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does look. He looks a bit ugly as well with his teeth on. I didn't realise how much difference it made. It was, yeah, it was. I mean, he didn't see the player coming across. It was a total accident, of course, but it's a bit painful when you get on the shins like that.
That's the type of thing that can break your leg, you know.
Yeah, it could, yeah.
Well, maybe no teeth though, Frank, but plenty of hair. I mean, the stars in those days. I mean, you had changes, didn't you?
Yeah,
and
we all had more hair in those days.
Well, sometimes you had hair on the top lip and didn't, and then you had sideburns, and the whole thing changed so frequently, didn't it?
Yeah.
Keith Birkinshaw on the right-hand side, and Les Cocker on the left.
Taken over from Jackie Milburn, a very different sort of player. But one very, very popular here at St James's Park. I only hope that the injury is not too serious. Meantime, the substitute, Gordon Hodgson. Newcastle throw. Baraclough. Tudor. And they're in trouble. Here's Gibb. Good recovery by Jack Charlton. And for heaven's sake, the organisation just wasn't there, and there have been a number of occasions when it's been like that. It's not been as well as Bolt. Gibb coming. Young. Borini also made his debut 10 years ago this month. That was at Swansea along with Norman Hunter.
I'm just watching Jack, your brother there, Bobby, and I'm just wondering what kind of welcome that Tynesiders playing for other sides would have got from the fans up there.
Oh, they'd be all right. They'd get. I mean, our Jack would be well received. I used to get quite well received, but I actually played for Newcastle once in a testimonial match, so I suppose I was one of their old players. You know, have a little affection for them. But no, they like their own, you know, and they're pleased to see them do well wherever they go. They've been quite pleased to see our Jack go.
I actually played in that testimonial as well, Bobby. It was one of the great experiences of my life. You played in St John played. It was Brian Clough's testimonial.
Was
at
it?
Park.
And
we gave the defence was the Newcastle first team defence.
Right. Yeah.
And you were playing as a guest. Yeah, yeah.
Franz Puskas played.
Marvellous. But yeah, I mean, they would all get a good reception. Yeah. At the start of the game, I mean, when Big Jack had knocked a few over, he wouldn't get too good reception after that. But
the free kick has been given against Hibbert. Testing computations of the match, Hibbert and Bates, both together at Leeds just over 12 months ago. Hunter. Jack Charlton forward away by Tudor. Baraclough. Smith over to the right, he's got to play it. Smith was the player who put his hand to his head. Baraclough shot, but I think he should have passed. Smith. Great roars as Newcastle come away again. This is Tudor. Smith. The angle's not good. Hibbert! Corner. Terry Hibbert coming so close to scoring on his first day as captain. But I think he's going to be on the winning side nonetheless for that. Smith to take the corner. Mr. Wynn looks at his watch. Gibb just didn't make contact. Throw in. That's the free kick.
Oh, it's all happening here. There's a bit of carnival going on there, Bobby.
Well, I don't know. I think they don't like losing Leeds. I mean, they were competitive lot, weren't they? You know, and I mean, he's not going to be feeling in the best of moods, our kid, anyway. So, if the ball was there in the player, you take your pick. You hit both of them into touch. Oh boy.
Cherry to Bremner. This surely must be his last chance, and they've lost it. Referee having another look at his watch. The front runners scamper off. The Newcastle manager going through there, and the final verdict 3-2 to Newcastle. A match which will be remembered for its goals.
Well, that's a win to savour, Frank, isn't it? Leeds United always near the top of the table at that point.
yeah, they were one of the best teams around, and it was we didn't beat them too often. So it was a win that we all enjoyed. Yeah.
I enjoyed watching them. The tune.
Yes.
They call it the tune up there.
Oh,
the tune.
Yeah, the
Newcastle.
You said you
Great.
got the feeling that you could sense the atmosphere just watching it here. Could you
Yes.
get that feeling? Did it return for you, Frank?
All the time. I mean, there was always a marvellous atmosphere at the ground. I mean, I remember the Face Cup that you showed before the first leg. You know, we had 62,000 in the ground.
62,000.
About 4 policemen. That was a wonderful atmosphere.
Yeah, it's great.
Is there a particular memory that stands out for you? Any one that really does stand out for you of St James's Park in Newcastle?
Well, that night, more than anything, the night of the Face Cup final,
Yeah, the
where
first leg.
it was a total adventure for us. You know, I mean, we qualified by an incredible series of coincidences. The final one being Bobby and his team winning the European Cup the season before. If they hadn't won the European Cup, they'd have been in the Face Cup, and we wouldn't have been. And everybody had written us off before the competition started. We were real innocents, to be fair, and to go through to the final and then have that wonderful night when we beat the Hungarian side, who were rated at that time as probably one of the best sides in Europe. To beat them 6-2 on aggregate was
And ironically, then you move to Nottingham Forest and you get soaked up in European competition, and successfully too, the
Yeah.
European Cup.
Yeah, well, I've
Wagstaff, what a character he was.